Vayechi. After Jacob's death, the brothers of Joseph, they're afraid. Several years earlier, Joseph told them, I forgive you guys for selling me to slavery. He forgave them and he told them, look, it was not you who sold me. It was God who intended for me to be here ahead of you guys and save lives. Yet the brothers were not fully convinced. They were not fully reassured that he completely forgave them. And they're afraid that perhaps, just like Esau said, that after Yitzchak dies, he would come and avenge and go and try to kill Jacob. Maybe Joseph too was waiting for the time that Jacob would pass in order for him to eventually take his revenge on his brother who sold him to slavery. So they ask again for forgiveness and tell them, please, Jacob told us to tell you to please forgive us for selling you for slavery. And so Joseph once again has to tell them, I forgive you. And it was not you who sent me down to Egypt, but God who wanted this to happen. Joseph forgives. For the first time in literature, we find forgiveness. This is remarkable, because until now what we saw in Genesis is sibling rivalry. With Cain was Abel, with the first brothers. Later on was Isaac and Ishmael, and then eventually with Jacob and Esau. And until the brothers and Joseph. And so the question is, can brothers live peacefully? If brothers cannot coexist peacefully, how can a nation live peacefully? How can two nations be okay with each other? How can the whole human race continue and evolve and survive? Only now, with Joseph and his brothers, complete reconciliation. Only now we can move on with the story. Only now we could go from a family to a nation. Only now we could progress in the story. And this idea of forgiveness is not found in any other culture. It is first found in the Bible. And it's completely different to the other alternatives of the past. Namely, revenge that go back and forth. You dishonor my family, my tribe, and I go and have a revenge on your tribe. And we go back and forth. And this only could end in appeasement. When someone humiliates the other and gains back the respect of the family. When someone gives the riches to the other and tries to appease them. Or those humiliation ritual. And this is similar to what we see with Jacob and Esau. That they don't forgive each other. They merely appease each other. Jacob gives him wealth and gives him goods and gives him flocks of animals and calls him sir and all these different types of appeasing, which is not forgiveness. It is only in Judaism that we could find forgiveness. Because forgiveness is only compatible with a guilt culture, not with a shame culture. In shame cultures, we shame the person for the sin they made. And we say the person is a bad person because he did a bad thing. The person becomes the evil itself. In contrast, in guilt cultures like Judaism, we don't believe the person is a bad person because he sinned, but merely a person who sinned, and that person can repent and become better and elevate his status. But never is it in the detriment of the person. And so in the contemporary world, we see people who have done a wrong and they're publicly shamed. These people try to clear their name. They try to say, I couldn't help it. It was not that bad. It was human nature. I got carried away. And eventually they hope you forget. And this is an ugly kind of culture, a shame culture. We don't believe in giving people a second chance, or defending themselves, or becoming better in themselves. But we believe in guilt, not in shame. We believe we could change the world only if we change ourselves. That's why the book of Genesis could only close after forgiveness. Because only when we believe we could change as individuals, we can move on to the nation of Israel, which is tasked in changing the world. You first have to change yourself in order to change the world. Tshuva is the ultimate assertion of freedom. Time becomes the arena of change. And the future redeems the past. And a new concept is born. The idea that we call hope. And thus when Jacob says, gather around and let me tell you the future to come, he cannot predict anything. Because we believe we make a future by our own choices. That is why we're free. We make choices. We make mistakes. We learn from those mistakes. And we grow. We're free not merely because we're objects, but because we're subjects. Because we could choose how to react and not always react. We have our choice. We have mind, not just a brain. We have thoughts, not just sensations. We're made in the image of God, thus we're free. We're sustained with the blessing of God, so we could become more than we could ever foresee. Only when we could atone and forgive, it is when we are the supreme expression of human freedom. The freedom to act differently as we act in the past, under the same circumstance, under the same opportunity, but we act differently. We're supremely free. Only a society and a civilization based on this forgiveness, based on this freedom, we can conduct a civilization, not doomed to repeat itself, cycle of vengeance and cycle of time. We can grow and become better and break through this cycle and the repetition of the past. where we can create a holier and better civilization for us and for everybody else. Shabbat Shalom.